Hello, this is Peter from OneCNC UK. This video is to show you what's new in XR8. These capabilities are available throughout the milling range from Express to Expert. If you have any questions, please contact us at onecnc.co.uk or call on 01902 373 054. So let's get started. In this section, we're going to look at multi-pocket selection. In this example, as you can see, I've already extracted the edges of the pockets and the boundaries off the solid model, so it's just a question of selecting them. You could use select all. If there are other colour variants on the screen, you could use the colour filter and select by colour, or you can select by layer. Once they are selected, it's just a question of creating your toolpath. So we'll go into our stock toolpaths. We'll use high-speed pocketing. I'm quite happy with the tool selection and the speeds and feeds. Again, quite happy with the clearance form. We'll use high-speed closed. As you can see, there are a few variations in this form. I will explain those in a later part of the video. We're going to use ramp helix. One of the options available now is you can change the ramp helix diameter from minimum to maximum, obviously allowing you to use larger tools in smaller pockets. Quite happy with the step over distance, and finish. Once the toolpath is calculated, we can simulate. So we're going to simulate rest. We just simulate into a simple boundary, select the boundary, and right hand mouse click. As you can see now, there are a few different options available, whereas you can now increase the simulation speed to times 100. And there we have our multi-pocket, a new very powerful tool available in XR8. What we're going to look at in this section of the video is new options available in pocket machining. So I have a pocket. We'll just go into our stock toolpaths, high-speed pocketing, select the pocket profile. I'm quite happy with the tool selection, the speeds and the feeds, the clearance form and depths. Just to point out, center optimized closed and machine from stock is only available in the Expert. We're going to ramp. I'm going to use automatic entry. I'm quite happy ramping in at maximum. Quite happy with the step overs, and finish. And then we have our standard pocketing. If you have a specific area you want to plunge into, we'll just open up a hole. Maybe you've pre-drilled a pocket, or maybe you've got a hole in a casting that you want to plunge into. So we'll now select an entry position. So we'll just go into edit, push through the form until we come to our entry path settings. As we've got a pre-drilled hole, I'm going to swap over to plunge. We're now going to use select entry position, and we'll just accept the form all the way through. The software is now prompting you to select an entry point, so you simply left click on the entry point. If I just zoom in so we can see what's going on, you can see the tool is now plunging into the center of the selected hole. This section of the video is going to cover feed control. If I just verify these radiuses, you can see we've got a diameter, a radius of 8 mm. And for this example, we're going to be using a 16 mm tool. So when we go into our high speed pocketing option, As you can see, I've got a size for size tool going into the corner, and at this example 500 millimeters a minute. As it reaches the corner, it will stop to change direction, which could induce vibration. This is where feed control comes in. So when I activate feed control and turn it on, the first option is how close you want to start looking into the corner, and that can either be set as either a percentage of the tool, or you can manually type in what distance you want to look into the corner. I'm just going to go with the default setting of 25%, but it can be changed to suit. And what size arcs do you want to slow down on? Well, you don't want to slow down on the big arcs, that's obviously a waste. So we only want to select the smaller ones. And you can do that again either by percentage of the tool or manually typing in what arcs. So I'm just going to go with 25% again. As for feed rate slowdown, set to 50%. Once it gets to within 25% of the tool radius, it's going to slow down from 500 millimeters a minute, which is set, down to 250 millimeters a minute. If that still isn't slow enough, you can up the percentage to 75% or whatever you need, and at 75% it's obviously going to slow down to 125 millimeters a minute. It just makes the rest of the pocket machining more efficient, only slowing down where it needs to. So you get a little tick box to show you that feed control is being used. Again, a very powerful tool now available in XR8. In the next section of this video, we're going to look at last cut. So I'll just drop into edit. We'll push through the form until we come to the settings. And last cut, if your tool is capable of roughing and finishing the right size, we're going to put a cut depth in of say 0.2, and this section allows us to change the roughing strategy from high speed closed to a different finishing strategy, where you can either use traditional or high speed zigzag. Center optimized closed is only available in Expert. So we're going to swap this over to a traditional toolpath for finishing, and we're just going to accept the form all the way through to the end. I'm just going to bring back plot up so I can pin the toolpath on. And when we zoom in, you can see the high-speed toolpath radially spiraling out, and then below there you can see the traditional toolpath. So again, a very another powerful tool available in XR8. In this section, we're going to look at arc optimization, which is a way of OneCNC reducing NC code. So we already have our toolpath. We'll just push through this toolpath without using arc optimization, and we'll post the job out. Okay, we'll just drop that onto my desktop and save. As you can see, the numerical increments on this one are 1, so we have 5,196 lines of information. So what we'll do now is activate arc optimization. So we'll go back into edit, we'll select arc optimization and finish the toolpath. We'll now post this one out and save. And as we scroll down this line of code, you can see there's now only 1,500 lines of information. So a great saver for the older machines that might not have the memory. OneCNC smooths any lies out with GO2s or GO3s. Another new feature in XR8. If you are using ball end mills for either pocket machining or profile machining, and you are not going down the full depth of the ball, there are now 2 settings available within inside XR8. So we'll just go into edit. As you can see, I've got a 25mm diameter ball end mill, and I'm only going 5mm deep. We'll go with a traditional toolpath. We'll just wrap helix, and in this one, just because I'm using a ball nose, I have reduced the helix down to its minimum. We're using automatic entry for this one, and you can see the first setting I'm using is allow the tip onto the boundary edge. So I now accept the form all the way through. We'll just right hand mouse click, simulate. As you can see, if I just view it from the front view and slow it down a little bit, the tool is not going full depth, as I said at the beginning. So we'll just let the tool path continue. And as you can see, the tangential edge of the ball has been able to reach the pocket boundary. The other setting, as I say, we'll just go into edit, and we'll now change it over to vertical. This will allow the side of the tool to reach the boundary and not the tip rail. We'll just accept that all the way through again. Simulate and right click. And as you can see, the tangential side of the insert stays away from the boundary, and it's the diameter of the tool that is allowed onto the edge. Another powerful tool available in XR8. In the final part of this section on pocketing, we're going to see the new options available inside traditional pocketing. So we're just going to go into edit. Again, I'm quite happy with the tool selection. As you can see, we're using traditional. You still have last cut available in traditional, where you can swap over to zigzag if required. What we're looking at is lifts between cuts on last depth. We'll run this toolpath without using that option. So I'll just accept the form all the way through to the end. And what I'm going to do is just backplot this toolpath. The way that traditional moves out through its next concentric path is a linear line, which can obviously lead witnesses on the base of the pocket, which is sometimes not desirable. As you can see, if I go into my verification tool, the path between each concentric move stays on the base of the pocket at -5. So what we'll now do is have a look and see what difference lift does. So we'll just remove the back plot. We'll go back into our traditional toolpath, accept lift between cuts, and accept that form all the way to the end. Again, I'll bring back plot on so I can zoom in. And as you can see, the lift, the linear move, and then the taper move down to the next cut. So eliminate all witnesses from the movement of the concentric paths. Again, another great feature in XR8.